of the police code to specify that feeding of red-masked parakeets is prohibited.
All right, Mr. Naiola, from Supervisor Peskin's office.
Madam Chair, Alioto Peer and Supervisor Drew David Naiola from the Office of Supervisor Aaron Peskin, thank you for hearing this item today. I want to defer to folks who are more expert in this field than I am. The legislation is mercifully short, so you see what it does. And I understand that both of you have questions for the presenters, but I would, with your indulgence, like to have Mark Bittner and Judy Irving present to you on the need and reasons for this legislation.
Great.
Thank you.
Good afternoon.
Hello. I'm Mark Bittner, the subject of the film and author of the book, The Wild Parrots of Telegraph Hill. I'm here to speak in favor of this ordinance, and because some people regard my stand as hypocritical, I want to speak a little about the consistency of my position over the years. When I first started feeding the parrots, I simply wanted to satisfy my curiosity about who they were. Nobody knew anything. I was the only one studying them. One thing I learned is that they're wild birds, not pets. After studying them closely for 6 years, I left Telegraph Hill with the understanding that their real beauty was not that they trusted me enough to take seed from my hand, but that they were actually wild parrots living here among us. That was the real point of both the book and the film. All I've ever really worked for with this is, that they be left alone to be wild birds. That was my testimony in front of the Animal Care and Control Commission 8 years ago. And that testimony is in the film. Now, one of the reasons I cooperated with the film and wrote my books was to have a creative project to do. But another was that I'd been warned by a parrot researcher in Chicago, Jason South, that I needed to popularize the parrots in order to protect them from state agencies that might want to destroy them because they're non-native. But that fame is a double-edged sword. Today, there's a large group of people down at Ferry Park feeding the birds by hand. I understand the joy that feeding the birds brings to people, but it's besides the point. They're not here for our pleasure, especially when our pleasure is putting the birds in danger. I don't see what I did as a right, but as a privilege. Privilege always entails responsibility, and I took that responsibility seriously. The feeders at Ferry Park are encouraging passers-by to feed them, something I consider very irresponsible. It exposes the birds to too much danger. Most people see the parrots as pets. Most people see parrots in general as pets, and there's a big temptation and opportunity here for people to snatch them. This has quite likely already happened to at least one of the birds. Now, one danger to the city government is that of lawsuits. While more trusting of human beings, the parrots still have all of their wild instincts. Even pet parrots bite, and they frequently go for the eyes. I've seen photos on the internet of young children at Ferry Park with parrots on their shoulders, and I have no doubt that if the feedings are allowed to continue, someone eventually is going to be seriously injured. One argument the feeders make is that without their help, the parrots would starve, and this isn't true. 2 winters after I left the hill and with no one else feeding them, the flock population had increased from 60 to 85. There's an even larger parrot flock in Chicago that survives winters there without subsidization. Should the parrots ever reach the point where they can't make it on their own, then there are too many parrots. That's nature's way. I don't favor passing laws to regulate every single human activity, but when human activity creates a real problem, then laws become necessary. These feedings are a problem, and from what I see, they are a growing problem. So I ask you to please vote for this ordinance and to help keep the wild parrots wild. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
Thank you, Mr. Bittner. I don't think so. Not right now, anyway.
Okay.
Thank you very much.